What's going on with Bitcoin is evolving faster than the society can digest it. After 30, 40, 50 years, you look back and you say, well, of course, we should have embraced the fire, the electricity, the wheel, the crude oil, the nuclear. I would say 95% of the decision makers in the finance world still don't really embrace or understand the idea of digital energy. I think when the administration says they want to be a global Bitcoin superpower, they mean they want the finance companies in the United States to lead the way. For every company in the world, in any capital market, they're always better off to buy Bitcoin as their capital asset. I think the end game is we accumulate $1 trillion worth of Bitcoin, and then we grow that capital by issuing more credit.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge.
Michael Saylor dives into Bitcoin Treasury strategy, credit innovation, and financial sovereignty. Let's explore money's future together.
It's a different set of cynics, a different set of critics, a different set of misconceptions. I think you're going to see the ebb and flow of that set of misconceptions and that anxiety. It'll continue when Bitcoin is 100,000. It'll continue when Bitcoin is 1 million. It'll continue when Bitcoin is 10 million. It'll continue when Bitcoin goes to 20 million. And there's always going to be a new narrative of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It'll be a different generation. The people that used to laugh and say, oh yeah, you lost $1 billion trading in Bitcoin, they're gone. They disappeared, right? There'll be a new generation of people that say, do you think it makes sense to buy Bitcoin at $1 million a coin? It's going to trade down to 500,000, right? And then there'll be a set of people that will say, you're buying it at 10 million a coin, it's going to trade to 6 million, you moron, you lost so much money. This is how societies deal with new ideas. If you study paradigm shifts, how long did it take to embrace electricity? How long did people thought John D. Rockefeller was crazy for 30 years until he was the richest man in the world. And then and at the point that he was the richest man in the world, people thought, well, that trade is done. And that was just when they invented the automobile and he got 10 times richer, right? And so the society doesn't really deal with paradigm shifts that well in near term, but after 30, 40, 50 years, you look back and you say, well, of course, we should have embraced the fire, the electricity, the wheel, the crude oil, the nuclear, even nuclear power right now, for example. Nuclear power has only become cool or useful in the last 2 years. Okay, so for 50 years, people thought nuclear power was an awful thing, and all of a sudden they woke up and they realized that I guess we need nuclear energy to power the AI data centers to make us super intelligent, and if we don't turn it on, we're going to be slow and stupid.
Bitcoin just touched an incredible $119,500, but traders are already signaling caution. The move higher, nearly a 10% gain in just a week, shows the strength of bullish momentum, yet indicators suggest the market may need to cool off. The Relative Strength Index, RSI, a classic tool for spotting overheated conditions, is now deep in overbought territory, hitting levels not seen since July when Bitcoin last crossed above $123,000. What this means is simple. While the rally has been powerful, a short-term pullback or retest of support could be next. Traders like Roman point out that everything looks overbought, but no cracks have appeared yet, making a breakout and retest the most likely scenario. At the same time, Bitcoin's strength isn't just coming from price action. ETF inflows have surged, with $1.6 billion added in just 3 days. BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust has broken into the top 20 ETFs by assets, highlighting how institutional demand continues to drive momentum.
So if it took them 50 years, by the way, nuclear power is like unlimited, clean, free energy, and they had to fight for 60 years to get people to embrace the idea of unlimited clean energy. It doesn't surprise me that there'll be skeptics about digital energy. They won't get it. Max Planck said, science advances one funeral at a time. And what he meant was the old guard, they will never, ever accept a new idea. Whatever it is, they'll die. They will not accept a new idea. The only way you get people to accept a new idea is you wait for a new generation of decision makers, and the old guard retires and they age out. Or you need a war, and people that don't believe in aircraft, but start believing in aircraft when the aircraft flies over their city and drops a bomb on their head. And people that don't believe in atomic energy start believing in atomic energy if someone sets off a nuclear warhead in the middle of a war. And so I think that disruptive, profound events like a near-death experience like during COVID, I think that introduces new ideas and new paradigms. That's how we got introduced into this space. It was the war on currency and the war on COVID in 2020 that caused us to open our eyes and embrace the new idea. I would say 95% of the decision makers in the finance world still don't really embrace or understand the idea of digital energy, digital capital, digital money. And I don't think it's a bad thing, because the only way you're going to make 10 to 100x your money is if you pick the right thing and everybody disagrees with you.
No.
If everybody agrees with you and you do the right thing, well, everybody agreed you should buy Amazon in the year 2020 during the lockdowns because it was quite obvious that you needed Amazon during the lockdowns. It's the worst investment of the past 5 years because everybody agreed that it was a good investment, and there's a lesson in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bitcoin is climbing again, this time as a U.S. government shutdown shakes traditional markets and sparks demand for alternative assets. The world's largest cryptocurrency touched a 2-week high of $118,653, buoyed by a mix of safe haven demand and record inflows into spot Bitcoin ETFs, which pulled in $430 million in just one day. While U.S. equities remained flat, Bitcoin showed signs of decoupling, reinforcing its growing role as a hedge during times of political and economic uncertainty. The shutdown has forced federal agencies into contingency mode, leaving hundreds of thousands of workers at home. Yields on 10-year treasuries dropped, gold hit a record $3,895, and investors scrambled for protection. Historically, shutdowns have been mixed for Bitcoin. During the 2018 standoff, BTC slid 9%, dragged down by both weak sentiment and regulatory headwinds. This time, however, the setup feels different. With ETF demand soaring, corporate adoption rising, and the Fed under pressure to cut rates, Bitcoin may find stronger footing even as Washington struggles to reopen. If you have been watching so far, thank you so much for watching, and do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Zella for daily news, all for free. That's all for today's video. Until next time.